Upsize strategies for first-time home sellers, what we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into all that, please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those fun things to help grow the channel, local Wichita community, businesses, and all things real estate. But this is going to be going over specifically first-time home sellers who have never sold a house before, and to kind of get prepped for that process and some of the best ways to handle that. So briefly, I'm going to go over the overview and then I'll go into them in detail. But the first one is get a bridge loan. Second one is get prepped for a contingent offer. And third one is study the market and have a plan ahead of time. So get a bridge loan. What a bridge loan is it essentially takes the equity you have in your house, which this is where you have to take a fair market value assessment of what you could sell your house for, and then what you still own, the property, the mortgage, and then the difference is the equity. And that's where a lender is going to look at that piece of information, which I can get you for free on that. Just reach out to me and we can make that assessment. From there, they're going to take the equity that you have and also other assets you have. And what they can do is they can give you a temporary loan to buy a house as long as your income works, your credit works, all those kind of things go with it. And then that way you can buy a house, and that way we can peruse around, look for houses, start studying the market, see what's out there. Not only can you buy a house and move in ahead of time before you sell your current house, you're much more competitive and you're much more able to get that house if it's a competitive offer situation, or it's just an ease of convenience situation where you're not trying to piggyback and do both at once, which I'm going to go into next for contingent offers. But ideally, the best way to do this is to prepare ahead of time, get a bridge loan, get yourself financially set, so that way you can be looking for houses, be able to offer on that house non-contingent on selling your house. And then that way your offer comes in strong. You can negotiate more favorable terms with that seller, because typically that seller, when they see a contingent offer, they're going to want to get asking price or something very favorable for them to entertain that contingent offer. And the other side of the contingent offers is that someone can still come in and knock you off. With the bridge loan, you can't. Like, it's yours, you've got it, it's pending, it's under contract, and you're moving through to closing with all of the normal processes of putting under contract, put earnest money in place, do the inspections, negotiate repairs, go through the appraisal process, close, and move in, usually about 30 to 45 days, depending on your situation and the seller situation. But that's where you're seeing all these houses that are being sold like vacant, because you're like, how are these people selling their houses vacant? Like, how can they afford to buy and sell at the same time? And it's typically a bridge loan is how they're pulling this off, but you have to have enough equity, enough active income, and then also your credit score and a bunch of other, financial numbers that got to line up. But ideally, that's the best way to upgrade your house as a first-time home seller. If you've had enough equity, you've lived in your house for long enough, you make enough money, and you can get a bank that will approve this and allow you to do that. And this is where different lenders operate a little bit differently. I can help you shop and advise you on how to navigate that financial world, because as a real estate agent, it's not just the houses that we help you navigate, it's also the financial world of what different lenders are advising you on. And that's where I went and got my NMLS number, like, to be a loan officer, but came to find out, like, I don't really want to be a loan officer. I just want to understand how their world works so I can better serve and advise my clients and all that. Like, when it comes to these bridge loans or these different financial hoops and scenarios we got to jump through in order to make the real estate transaction go through. So that's number one, is get a bridge loan. If you can strategically do that, and getting prepared for that ahead of time never hurts. Number two is also getting prepped for contingent offer and all the different ins and outs that come out with that. Because this is probably the one that I get the most what if questions on, is how does a contingent offer work? What about this? What about this? What about this? And as much as I try to pre-address them with these videos and everything else, like, I know you're going to have them in the middle of the transaction or the situation. But it usually starts with getting your house prepped as far as doing an equity assessment, how much equity you have in the house, studying the market of your neighborhood, how many days on market is your neighborhood going to go for. I'll send you all the sold data within the last 6 months for your neighborhood. So that way you can not only look at what your house is worth, but also get an idea of what your market should perform like based on past experiences. And then you can also kind of creep on your neighbors a little bit, which is kind of cool. To be like, hey, what did they sell their house for? What was the price per square foot? How many bedrooms, bathrooms, garage size? What condition was it in? What finishes? like what they do at this room, that room, what are some of the modern styles that are selling well and not so much. Oh, that house is outdated, but it sold for that much. So it's kind of fun to study your little local neighborhood. If you want to get one of those market data reports sent to you for your neighborhood, shoot me a message at the link below. They can get you those. But then that way you kind of know what your house will reasonably sell for. But then also we want you to get you familiar with the selling process and be prepped for that. So there might be some things you need to fix ahead of time. There might be some things you got to prepare for. So that way, when you do find the right house and we offer on a contingent, that means we're putting your house on the market like right away. If that seller accepts your contingent offer on, let's say it's a Thursday or Friday or Saturday, like your house needs to be on the market that Monday to Wednesday. It's not like, hey, can I have a week or two to put my house on the market? It's more like you put together like a 60 or 90-day close date for that contingent offer, given that you're going to go get your house on the market right away. And a lot of the stipulations around a seller accepting your contingent offer is they want to know what house are you selling, what price, what's your marketing plan. And that's where an agent like myself, who actually has all that laid out in a smart, strategic, like solid way with the plan that can present that with the contingent offer, is a much stronger, compelling contingent offer than somebody who just throws a bunch of paperwork over these people and be like, yeah, we're going to sell a house. And I'm like, we need more than that. Like, you got to make more of a case to that, to the seller and the listing agent, to take your contingent offer that goes with that. Plus, for your own planning sake, and honestly for mine too, we need to have all these pieces of the puzzle in alignment with the right strategy, the right mindset, the right attitude around pulling this off and running the probabilities of it actually happening or not. So getting prepped for a contingent offer is a process. There's a lot to it, but the more we prepare, the more we meet, the more we plan, like the better these things go. Not just from a technical standpoint, but also from your own emotional standpoint. So you can stomach all of these moving parts and all the things that go with it, because it's big. It's a big transaction. It's a big life change. It's a big move. And we need the proper amount of planning and strategy that goes with it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like, you want to keep it fairly straightforward and simple, because you could worry yourself to death playing the what if game. Just know at the end of the day, I got a plan, I got a process, and you got to kind of trust in your agent in the middle of the situation to help you handle the situation as best as favorably possible. So that's number two of getting prepped for a contingent offer if it's your first time selling a house. And then number three is to study the market and have a plan that comes with that. So whether that's a bridge loan, whether that's a contingent offer, this is probably one of the funnest things to do, is to set you up property alerts and start looking at what's going on in the market. What are they asking it for? Since Kansas is a non-disclosure state, you can't see necessarily what it sold for unless you hit me up and I can send it to you directly personally. But we can't just publicly display it for everyone to have access to it. Those are the laws, those are rules. I just follow them. But studying the market, having a plan, because not only does this help for like what you can buy and what you can get for your house, it's also studying what is selling and how it's going for selling your house too. You know, whether you do a bridge loan or a contingent offer, either one, studying the market, having a plan is definitely the best way to do this, and not thinking we got it all figured out, or, oh, I know how to do this, or you know, my mom, dad, brother, aunt, uncle said to do XYZ, which usually isn't a great strategy on everything, because they don't sell real estate day in and day out. You definitely want to have a recently qualified and experienced agent, because some of these agents have been doing it forever. I hate to talk bad on people, but they haven't updated their processes and modern marketing methods and things like that. But anyway, that's three strategies for upsizing if you're a first-time home seller. Hopefully that's helped you kind of understand a little bit more how the process works to get you into a better next home, whatever that may be. If you want to check out Wichita, other real estate videos, watch some of those. I look forward to talking with you soon. Follow the link below. We'll go from there. See ya.